Alright, next up we're going to move into speech sound production, which is going to include phonology, motor speech, and articulation. So this should look pretty familiar at this point. We've gone through phonation, which is the production of sound at the level of the vocal folds. We're gone through resonation, which is the modification of that sound as it passes through the pharynx or through the nasal and oral cavities. And now we're going to start shaping those sounds into actual speech sounds that give us our words, our sentences, and our phrases. So if we think about phonation, we have ah, with the vibrations at the level of the vocal folds. If I want to change my resonation, I could go and then if I want to articulate that sound, I could say mama, or I could say maid. And I have speech sound production by creating those words and moving the structures in my mouth to create those sounds. So when we talk about speech sound production, it really is just shaping of the voice into the speech sounds, and another word for speech sounds is phonemes. We have three different classifications. We have phonology, which is the systematic learned patterns for the use of speech sounds in an individual's language, which is our fancy definitions, right? So phonology is going to be associated with memory and retrieval, mostly in the central nervous system. When we talk about motor speech, it's really the innervation of our speech structures or our speech organs during speech sound production. So that's that message from the central nervous system traveling down through the peripheral nervous system to our speech organs and the efficiency of that signal. And then we have articulation, which is at the level of the speech organs themselves. So at the level of the velum, the level of the tongue, the lips, and how those structures move together to create those speech sounds. So as we go through this lecture, we're going to talk about the anatomy that's related to each of these areas. We're going to talk about the differences between those. We're going to talk about the classifications of speech sounds and how we classify those. And that'll help us move into disordered speech sound populations and being able to differentiate those two. The overall goal of this module is to really give you a really firm foundation for the differences between these different areas because they are interrelated. We have to have phonology to have motor speech to have articulation. But when we talk about them in disordered populations, we're going to break them down into the different areas and determine where the problem is happening. Is it at the level of the learned patterns? Is it at the level of the innervation? Or is it at the level of the speech organs?